ye Pinax TV and fancy akese marche for now ye go straight to the updates abeka yensa enea na ye dikan ashase every the Ashanti region of Ghana. Now nansen term betoja say eye G Afenyo hospital nipa bebre na efreni G no issues bi akoso efa eye CEO and the board of eye trustees wo nsem bia omo de betoja say the emergency and the accident unit ewo hono sebe ehwaye ma into omunye nkrofo ene ade koye nsem bebre ema people started raising concerns say there are other hospitals capable and able sebe senkasa hospitals no ya area ebetimi aboa ama sebe the congestion koso ewo Afenyo hospital no load ni be free wo so, and apparently one hospital edin be piemu the Afari hospital sanso efren the Kumasi military hospital na za hospital is somewhere 2014 na ye shase say ye di hujuma ti e beka say it's been over 10 years now that project shase. Now, Besinde, we've still not seen anything. It's a 500 bed a year hospital. Yes, she say in Kasa 500 bed a year hospital. Beka eye hospitals akesia ewo Kumasi na pressure da Afenyo so no cry betimi den abafem na nna nei ye kiremu chaos esi ewo ho no abusuanya sem ketwa ni nyina ene se the minority in parliament the NPP amanyuko no ene emu nkrofo ni bi yes omo ekọ Afari hospital honom akwa ntoa wo akɔhye de ekoso wo ho ba bi adwuma na duro ni ade and all that, but akwa a military crash between the NPP and the military abusia na ukopie mu honom enya sem ketwa ye bebo awura ho ne ahwede si ye ewo Afari hospital ewo Kumase ye ba ye be kyensem ni mu adomusuko.
DC, you know, DC about Behuna. MC is 7. Yes. The MC has come to present her. The MC they are not working for anybody. When NDC was coming and they go to sites, do they ask permission? Did you see us working them? We are doing it for Ghana, not us. Officer, we are not doing, officer, yeah, for you. So, there is
the premises of Afari Hospital, popularly known as Kumasi Military Hospital. Na eno ena chese ye hu se menteme ho ase eni ade ebepie mu a bebre ekire mu a na MC ya wo honom no ena ne nsa hyase a wakosesa asrafo soldiers abegu honom a all in the name say wo mo emma the minority no kwan emma wo mo enko the premises of the hospital. Ebiso kire mu a President John Dramani Mahama Ghana ye mampani wono nso eni masem ni hu bi esanso mu kire mu a mampani Mahama allegedly no use state resources state military no to abuse MPP for and answer the minority any idea to stop them from accessing the facility. Now a better report we are and also from one of the people on also ekopie mu incident no eso a woche mu say we dey osusu se mampani ensa ebo mu bie yentiensem no enra
for baby Afenyo hospital minority MPs aba say omo be twa kira ban ni say ban na be let's you better as the president Mahama na ban MC what man will be just south. I always don't say. I don't know what about cheap. I was a soldier for business. And not your weapon. I'm minority MPs. No, every I dare the taxpayers' money. I am yes, I buy my yellow. You buy a soldier for who I say, a soldier for who I say. Minority MPs and Remo Correa project. Nasia Chomemu, that's a President Mahama, but you to state security. And they intimidate citizens say, and the President Mahama is a one. Ponia Santimine, they would be the President Mahama. Ponia Santimine, yeah, this is the would be that. Nakabani say, and a project, a yaya papa before, Ababa, Naka, Baba Shah, wasn't my ready. Young Casana President Mahama, said the Podian and Cabot.
And Tinacha say, ne crackano, Mampeni Mahama, and so Yachini Dean Abe Remubie. IHM say with the chaos AC sebe akoye a banter between the minority and asrafo with the premises of Afari hospital hospital ayenyen sinwie ya omuchire mo mokọ no ebi crash ase ebusa say hopa omokoye na de na na omokoye wo ho minority no what was their mission there hospital we wo ho dada you people came to meet it because our hospital we shall see somewhere in 2014 and he started our project we and we are in 2026 still na ye hu hwe enti ho amokọ ne na mokoye den any ade creating a whole lot of issues but there are more videos yensa come from incidents and I said the clash a cause between the NPP minority in parliament and a soldier form no more muchemu say order from above ese emaye mo bia kwan ema ni enrem ti say una ye MPO say una ye minority leader say una ye hwan you are not supposed to be allowed entry to the premises into on your screen so see chaos at Afari military hospital as soldiers block minority MPs from inspecting the abandoned facility. Into the see ye ewo ho eno said American there are more videos coming from the scenes ye beko na ya kwakwahwe videos ni ebi of how we share said the na ebinum cry so devastated that omusu omuchemu said their job is on the line because minority for no are trying to gain access to the facility yenhwe video we enra
Simo bi enwuram ana ampadifo awuram ti so ba Afari hospital there security man dey on say omu nyina honorable Buama abekretin wo mo say omadwuma abo wo mo the question is ono na for omadwuma and I said yes
when you are the you are box DC, you know, DC about the MC 7. Yes. The MC has come.
Angapo.
Who gave you the authority? At the end of the day,
closer.
You're not working for anybody. When NDC was coming and they go to sites, they ask permission. You see, as citizens, we are doing it for Ghana, not us. Officer, we are not doing officer. They are here for yellow.
Madam, the beauty and quiet.
NPP was the NDC anyway. The NDC anyway. Police station, Emperor police.
When Asafari MP, honorable Afenyo. Military for Naba. Military for Naba.
Emergency situation that people are being taken, people are dying. You want it to affect my family member or yours before you see the citizens' action. When you are not acting, the citizens act. So they should act and bring confidence so you can do this thing. Nobody says these things are right, but it is necessary to put pressure on government. It's a tool for demonstration. It's a tool to express your feeling. Because Ashanti matters. We are doing new structures elsewhere. And we are saying that as an MP, we should treat every region equal. So just as other regions matter, Ashanti also matters.
Kumasi Military Hospital and I say Afari Hospital no some way see wo and then no video ni bi ene ekwohwe na some way koso no amafo bebreche mu say NPP fo ankasa wo mo prepa because one bezo mo de ntipoten a wo mo ekọ ho say hospital no mo kọ na yensim wie ye no a wo mo kọ ho na de pa no mo kọ akoye enti amafo ahyase kra ebo reference to 2021. So as you can see on the screens, you know, a report way about September 29th in 2021. Rebecca said that is 5 years ago. And I say NDC phone so attempted said they would assess the hospital and also they were prevented by military. So as you can see on the screen, so soldiers prevent NDC MPs from inspecting uncompleted military hospital project in Ashanti region. Internet is somewhere in 2021, asemwa AC and day, ebi sign AC. And the question most people are asking right now, they say, are we politicizing the health of human beings in Ghana? I say citizens, are they apomudin so ye politicizing because 2021 something similar happened. NDC for tries or may assess the facility and MPP for us then they were in power. One with the military and then 2026 MPP for so tries or mobile assess the place and I yet to say NDC for a beach MC a beach President John Dramani Mahama and one more try say one more MPP for no coin from assessing the place. What is the objectives here? And they say in hospital now come to me sin in tem now start operation na abua enkrofo wo Kumasi memuni Asante memuna chese pressure on Konfanoche any other hospitals ni beba fem na enkrofo etimi anya better health care no say adane a friend is saying politics and a way we do ye no we so dia koye bi I say ba e de botachi no na e de boba and ye ko back on back e was same way. A lot of people have called the health minister say omremu no mekasa and the President John Dramani Mahama is say baby and semne kikakono enya de ometime asososo ebiem. So we are still following closely on this issue na yamamo update ebeba e free ho. Now moving on to other matters, still in the Ashanti region kayenim say Asante memu de yebora ho a oswafo ehonum nyina hye ne nsa no Dr. Frank Amwakohene in the wake of event where chaos SC ewo Afari hospital anase Kumasi military hospital no enka ye hwe se o ye better say regional minister ababonten abeka bibia anase say nanso for all you know no regional minister nankasa na so aye hye papa chen ye aye wo Ghana krodwem ha. Now this is the reason why regional minister na so aye hye say say am no ka say the petition akwa President John Dramani Mahama ne punu say kim efa regional minister yi ehom. So on your screens you see two Ghanaians petition Mahama over alleged sexually offensive remarks by Frank Amwakohene. Enti echiremu Ghana fo mienu a omoye ma and omo tebri pen ne paper atwro krata de akoma President John Dramani Mahama petition ne say Dr. Frank Amwakohene a woye Ashanti regional minister no wakwagi kansem bia sebe egu oba pani bi hu fi e wo Ghana krodwem ante wo sempanimfo etimi ye bribi e de efa ho. Now we're going to delve so much into this issue ebre pote ben na Dr. Frank Amwakohene kwaka asasem we onipa ben na Frank Amwakohene ekoka ne ho asem anti no se aye bubruja ama yetebri krata e de akwa President John Dramani Mahama. How is it going to affect any ministerial position of Ukraine nyina and nne de kika ho na otimu say amafo chiremu as say MPs ni ministers a wo mo serve under the Mahama administration no da bia ne asemo a eba. Now on your screens you see two Ghanaians petition Mahama over alleged sexual offensive remarks by Frank Amwakohene. Enti say the edi kan boss no sa pepepe na etie na say Ghana former mienu bi no masi o madwen pi say Frank Amwakohene waye niema bi a ense emfata enti o say President John Dramani Mahama etimi twe na so. Now o say two Ghanaian citizens Barbara Chum and Jennifer Owusu have petitioned President John Dramani Mahama over allegations that the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene, made sexually offensive and misogynistic remarks directed at former National Youth Authority Deputy Chief Executive Akosia Menu. Enti na chese omu kiremu a mami no mu di Barbara Chum ene Jennifer Chum ena omu de krata akoma mampani se Ashanti Regional Minister Frank Amoako-Hene wakeka nsem bia efa sebe sexual efa oba ho a ensese nko ye den wakam edefa the former Youth Authority Deputy Chief Executive Officer Akosia Menu ehum. Now, so the petitioners are calling for disciplinary actions, which they say could include a formal reprimand or dismissal from office. In they say, party, the more pair, our Moshe Kwan say, President John Dramani Mahama Bayen, and they said, Frank Amoako-Hene, ni Dibra Wokra, say, Regional Minister, no, yen infringing sem, and I say, yen china son, ewon semwa, wakayen no, ehoneze, no. As a MPs for no any ministers are President John Dramani Mahama assign your money nano. One way or the other, and most of them are landing into trouble, and people are calling for their sack. Nano ada ne Lindo Klo, the regional minister for Greater Accra, and they are transcending Ababe Drew the Ashanti regional minister. Eso. Now, seeing a petition dated June 9th, 2026, and submitted to the Executive Secretary of Jubilee House, the petitioners urged the president to invoke Section C of the Presidential Code of Conduct and Ethics 2025 to investigate and act on what they describe as a serious breach of ministerial standards. Kratano and rather and womo edify the secretary, the executive secretary of Jubilee House. Say enko President John Dramani Mahama so na wonjina section 6 of mampanif or code of conduct omudi adwuma no na entimi enye nhwehwemu emfa Frank Amoako-Hene ensema omode bono no ehom na afen so no se wabu ne dwumadie na wodi wabu mbra no so no womo entwe na so was akwan no so now say the petition concerns serious breaches of Presidential Code of Ethics and Ethics 2025 by Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene arising from sexual offensive and misogynistic remarks published on social media. The document states into Muchemwa and some so and yes bia or Kotina radio super no what the social media and our de echo chocho sa and some way omuhuni say a good mame Akosia Menu and hufin and what's say ankasebe or swafo etimi etrocho nsem bia etisa na ensem pote ben and Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene ekokan say at the center of the complaint is an alleged Facebook post attributed to the minister, which the petition quotes as Akosia Kuma Wokondo Ana. You want to have a taste of it? Intinache say, where you I mean, oko chimemu anasa Asante eka Akosia Kuma we are oba sebe ne special parta one hono enti se ude omame Akosia Menu din ade ye rough like what all kind of things omuchemu na say it's more demeaning to the personality of mame Akosia Menu as a woman enti was a president etimi etwe Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene aso was kwan no so now see according to the petitioners the statement was sexually explicit, vulgar and gender demeaning and was directed as Miss Menu enti so chemwa ensem no yusu ye no enya asem a nke wo so kakra sebe asem a epiefu anum kra na nkranhye nim enhye chese enhye nyamedie nimunyam enti wo ka ne sa so a na wa ma Melidia Akosia Menu wa ma nanim aba fem kra enti wo se asotwe wo ho ne de ma no now say they further argue that the language amounts to sexual harassment and is incompatible with the dignity expected of a public official, describing it as a deliberate, crude and sexually suggestive reference that cannot be interpreted in any benign content. Into Ochemwa then some more kind no some way somehow no sexual harassment and Afenyo no senka obi kra beka na nyo obi te se Dr. Franka Mwakohene a woye pani sebe okra dibre enimonyam ewo mu sei ene oba be keka sansem wenti nsem we de enye kra say ebefri ni ho aba. The petitioners also contend that the conduct violates multiple provisions of the code, including requirement on civility, dignity, professionalism, and the obligation of public officials to treat all citizens with respect, particularly women. Enti uye obi a ukra debre ewa memo we mu ana be mu ana wo se ensem bi wo hono ma sebe udibre a ukra ninti no enya de a obetimi aba abonten abeka na tra sa keke. And to think that when you power so to me comport when you're civilized, what you say, and young kwan as a bit to me in a bontin, a be when no makaka and sembi, and a jumana wo yen, I was so there's some professionalism be better home just to come out and say anything. Obuobi nim na as a would your bend mu ye form dear. Yes, so and ye now say the phrase. You want to have a taste of it. It's a direct sexual solicitation. This constitutes sexual harassment, the petition states, adding that it creates an environment of fear, hostility, and degradation for women. Beyond internal ethic rules, the petition also cites constitutional principles, arguing that the alleged conduct undermines equality protections and the state's obligation to promote women's participation in national development. Ninsem no de ade a egu eye akosia menu ni hufia enwo se anka eba ne sa enu nti no mo pese President John Dramani Mahama otimi eyi eye Dr. Franka Mwakohene efri ne position as the regional minister isanse nsem a wakokeka no eye nsem bia sebe enhyen kran na as a whole regional minister utumi koka bibi sei ne de according to Barbara Chum any Jennifer ne de omuhu say this is very demeaning to the dignity of mame akosia menu, because obeba bonten no abetro sansem we abekeka sansem we ya enya de ehye eye in crying. And to think that this is coming in a time like this where some of the MPs and some of the ministers omudin has already been started being dragged on the internet. Ayechem so omodem bon shem cry yense san omo yenye reshuffling any other all this is coming up na Dr. Franka Mwakohene onu nso din abetomu bie no na eya hadwene. People have started questioning the President John Dramani Mahama administration, because that no other who say the Greater Accra Regional Minister said him di kankan Emma Melindo Klo yes so akwaji award bi onu asan bone ho nsamra ne se wa ye adwuma ne adade. And now the Ashanti Regional Minister in question onu nso eho abebon eye ensem webi. So right now the question is, you ask what is happening to these ministers ede na etomo ede na ekoso and ebisu trema and semwa Dr. Frank Amwakohene ekaye no enye nsem bi e kire so bru so a sebe ye wo se the petition ekoma president so onyi nim free in position as the regional minister for the Ashanti region. Maybe umetimi ahwehwemu ehu the intentions behind it and all that, but all this back and forth idea ehu ensheda ehia. Well, we are still following keenly na yahwe bia nsemu ebeko akwakodrum. Now yebora the NPP amanyoko no camp nso a whole lot is happening there when wo makopie mu Ashanti region. Ama mene wo eka say yehu say akoye chaos between military any omo. But in the midst of all that is going on your screen, you could see a gentleman ojina Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia nchen obebusa say abrantie we oye hwan ni din Sabato ebusia. This is one of the staunch NPP supporters sebe woni NPP hu agrokra say the one so tale Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia hu screen so say ye ko ye ba eni ade no odi mu akotene pa NPP amanyoko na so me ne okase arehosem ato no South Africa no chire mu anache se South Africa fo ya akoto asha brantie so a enya asem keto obeka se na ne boni a wadi enesen wo mu chire mu anache se Nigeria fo bi ye drug peddling o mu di nduboni hu dwa South Africa man ni mo makoche wo mo na brantie ya chena ka ho amen ye supplement akoso no enye small supplement ni nyina ne kire mu a omo chese wo mo susu se wono nso ye Nigeria ni na woka eye nsemo a anase omo a wo mo edi nduboni hudwa e wo South Africa man no emu ntimi ne wo ka se die wo mato ahye wo mo so a omo adele with a brand me no ka se wo chemu and properties ni sika ni phones ni ade nyina no ahwere no ye bekwa kwhwe video of said the ensem no esiye na ye ba ya to aso.
We know you. We know you. Man, we know you. Yeah, we know you. We're not so bad. Hey, our friends, I'm taking some transaction. Yes. Taking some transaction. We know you. Ubizi umoshi ni pekwe. Okay, guys. Kina spoon na machocho hapa. Serious valentine.
Takapona sasa wewe. Bwana tolakale na mapilisi lawa makulu ama ara.
Whoa, wait.
Money for drugs. You can take a video, it's fine. It's money for drugs. I don't do that.
Hey, whoa!
What are you busy with? I think someone says what are you busy with? Open. Open here. Put your stomach drugs well. I don't say. This man no. This man is I'm shop. We know. I'm shop. I'm a traveler. I don't work only here. Okay, open here. Oh, so I open for you to see. I don't open for you to see. This money I take it to the bank. Okay, wait. Check. Yeah, I'm tabulo. Why do you have so much money? I take it to the bank. Oh, no, it's not. It's for drugs. When does you take the money? I don't do drugs. Come now. Fuck it up. Madam Atraxide. Me. I don't do drugs. Keep your money with us. Keep your money.
It's either you keep your money or you put it back in the safe.
Yes.
Well,
abusia video e kwhye no eye Ghana ni abrante NPP ni ma papa a bebre na enim no asabato wo South Africa man mu a ye kire mu dia South Africa amidst the xenophobic attack koso aye nyina ye nim a wo mu kire mu a wo ye African na wo man mu a you have to leave and go and fix your country corner ko siesie woman mu we don't need you there I am my deadline to be 30th of June no ena ono nso ne ho akoka adwa ye kyeremu a according to Sabato ankasen enum asem a wode batu dwa no o kyeremu se o wani fie na kyese the xenophobic mob ni bi to share ne so woni fie honom a apparently they started searching ne ade o mu kyeremu a we Nigeria ni no match Nigeria fo bi a they are allegedly involved in drug peddling any ade into o machi omo no o mu susu se ono nso hu bo mu bi ende he was even detained they assaulted him near there up until later wo mo ejai no a sabe de ono akasa se with what is happening in South Africa sisiano clearly no bibia say the country is not safe South Africa mind is no longer safe for people to stay in the country again and some when you na koso no na utimu se Sabato ni hwa e mobo pa because from what we are gathering no ofi UK eba South Africa mine mu kra encheye nam so ama ne property ne dan a wotimu ni ade nyina wo mu aboawura mu asese ne ama sika ne ade wo mafa ne nyina edeko. And this is raising a lot of concerns on the internet amafo chema. Until when South Africa fui womo ebejai this attack on their fellow blacks any idea, thinking that when we be watching Nigeria phobia and they are involved in some kind of mechanism drug peddling and I say trafficking near there. I mean, you should run thorough investigations into it and sana attack obi awako attack obi say according to Sabato our NPP near brantie power tie amanyoko nechi no asemo a omo eka no ade a wonu onim ho hwe. He barely has any idea about the accusations leveled against him, and from what we are gathering there utimu say abrantie no he's been through a lot. I watch Ghana for South Africa mind mu say there omo mo ni nda ho because the way South Africans are going all messy and chaotic on other blacks, you know, as well omure fikra said they are human beings like them. And baby I can kono utimu say it will be very important say if you're a black person now South Africa mindimu na if you know you could leave that country and ube here say ube free konimu ako. But fortunately for Sabato ne there one shada and sustain any major injuries be an say but looking at how he was maltreated, attacked and detained, you know, and raise a whole lot of questions on what is currently happening in South Africa. And I'm penning for omo South Africa no omo ye edia found cause from the video timu say enyo no nko no mo do so ye pa na chese enkofoi akoto ahye omo so a they were dealing with them anyhow anyway any like ojuju wa won ti ase. And a question people are asking right now and they say edia pa na ebetimi aye ama South Africa for we put an end to this attack on their fellow blacks and indeed it is ringing a bell say time aso the ama black ni bi a South Africa say yeah wow ne free ho and sana too late because you don't know what is going to happen the next moment. And I say the next line in action of the South Africans already know omakasa mayati as say up to 30th June no, they don't want to see any black person in South Africa. Go and fix your country. Kwana ko siesie woman mo kire mu abebre na illegal immigrant ebi no mo nkrata any ade wu no mo ti krom ho saafo ni nyina they don't need them in their country. But in the case of Sabato no na Akoya said he was accused wrongly and falsely for something he knows nothing about allegedly. Since Sabato ti we Ghana ni pa enso ye de na kofra fra Nigeria fo a yesusu se omudi nduboni hudwa South Africa ne no enenam so a wono nso ne ho akire na yakobro no eni ade a fortunately for him no he was detained, he was assaulted say ye know. But the thing is that one sheda and sustaining major injuries bia ebe hadwene ewo ho. In view of that ne bi trema masa wan kasa wa be kase ekroni unsafe, so do out and then register with Ghana the embassy no Pretoria na yemfa mepie mu oman Ghana because if you keep on staying there na esanko bu bie mu dia ene emeka nkire Ghana fo ayewa ha. So that is the unfortunate incident ato NPP town supporter Sabato South Africa mino emu ninyere mu no yebepie mu oman Ghana mu ha se ya me no ka se enrada and I had the updates be a former Maslock CEO Mame Sedina Tamaklu Ationu extradition plea ye de call US no US for agia to mo di so amanda me no e ka say de wa be pie mu e wo Ghana ha na pia wa be pie mu Ghana ha no ye nyina ye nim se wo ba be serve ne 10 years ye de no judgment of 10 years in absentia no oni ho ene serve no sa 10 years no enti obedru ye no ebeto dwa se prisons ene Ghana Police Service for akwakotebirina wo mo ye the necessary process wo me de befa so se de be ya obekwa kopie mu wo prison na wako serve ne 10 years no immediately. But another sorry ya update eba no ene da screens no so no say ex Maslok's boss said ina Temakulati onum 6 Court of Appeal to overturn 10-year conviction. Inti na chese ono a obaye ya penache 2024 nsem ne sha say man who verdict close to 2 years now obeba o mada ene US for aboaye mama mi abepiem wo Ghana no obaya chese ono edwane akọ Court of Appeal say eye atembu a omubu ye no wo mo enane asem no no mo nhwe na omunye bibi enfamfa the issue ni ho na akose a lot of reactions amanfo chem say ehe ne ha wokrapo de nka ye ka nke wo se wo kebi kra Kelsey ye ubaye na prison for any police for tebri na no why din no akọ serve or sentence no because looking at it no ohun cry bufu kra dada according to some Ghanaians wa ye case e na aka che say okosiki medical attention aba wa mabie ma ye beba obeba wa man ye di asem ni wie ye pass a verdict in your absence ubaya wedwane Echo Court of Appeal said they should overturn the issue. Now let's delve more into the issue. Utimu say and some there it's a whole lot until as you can see or say ex Maslok boss said ina at your new appeal 10-year sentence inti ono echemu a yenye bribi enfamfa eye ne 10-year sentence a yede amano no ehun na say from all indication no he feels like something needs to be done about it. Now say former chief executive of Ghana's Microfinance and Small Loans Center Maslok said ina Christine Tamaklu Ationu has asked the Court of Appeal to overturn her conviction and 10-year prison sentence. And ne krakra no na chese mami ye de kwadu bebre abono money laundering, embezzlement, causing financial loss to the state. Any ade ni nyina ye gina so abone charge ni ya sentencing to 10 years no or say Court of Appeal enhwe ensem no omo nane sa 10 year sentence no. She argues that the charges brought against her were legally defective and violated her constitutional rights to a fair trial. International chemwa kwadru ni ade abobo no sebe mbremu no nanke wo se ono nso yetimi di asem no pepepepepepepe sebe eniema bia there will be no defect on it and as a baby but kwan omofa so di asem no enheda emfa emrakwan so that is what yema me said in eka. Now saying a report by GhanaWeb.com, the appeal submission filed in February, Tamaklo Ationu's lawyers challenged a 2024 High Court judgment that convicted her on multiple counts including stealing, causing financial loss to the state, money laundering, improper payment of public funds, and breaches of public procurement laws. And to omuchema before ma many bedru Ghana krano and the lawyers for etebri krata at the appeals court say momoko akwa appeal the 10-year sentence ayede amano no. Now 2024 High Court and judge pass sentence of 10 years at the man based on kwadu ayede abobo stealing ka ho na say wawia ade wabo omine ka that is causing financial loss to the state, money laundering, so improper payment of public funds and say sika bia eni kwan se mami etua no wakotua eni ade a ye chemu se emra bi wo hokra ebra na all serve as the CEO no wabusa emra no esho. Now see the former Maslok boss contends that several charges lacked sufficient particulars and merely repeated the wording of relevant statutes without clearly outlining the specific act she was alleged to have committed. Into no person or chere say kwadru e de aboboni na bebre ho no ma sebe eni njina so bibie ni wa chere say ade aye chere say waye no we ene chere say indeed mami we boni we e di susu na kwadru e de bono no no krese waye anase wonye ye enti ojema case no mudi ye no omo ndi no ewo in a fair way because some of the charges that were leveled against her no clearly no na chere say enshede ni specifics act bia etiano. Now, her legal team argues that the omissions breached Article 19, Clause 2D of Ghana's Constitution, which guarantees accused person the right to be informed in detail of nature of the charges against them. And to say no mudi ekombrem And according to Mame said in the lawyers no, on person much say case na ye di ye no omatiambra. And omatiambra in a sense, o share your constitution in article 19 clause 2D na. The HN se mudu kwadu bobia, e was a mutimi edan a deep febie mu, echiri mu yen se kwadu na ye bono. Adewe entini aboss akwadu e na etiao. Na so mantimi ankyere sa ade ni mu nyina mfa nkyere eye ma me said na. Enti wo mo gisa eye sentence we tumu a enye yie. Now, say this is an appeal against the judgment of the High Court, delivered on 16th April 2024. The filing states, adding that the conviction should be set aside because alleged procedural and evidentiary shortcomings during the trial. Enti omo tem se kwan omo fa so di asem ne kra no enfomso wo ho enti omo kwa appeal se be ya appeal court ebe kasa e dey afa judgment a High Court emaye on 16th April 2024 no eho omo se niema bi etosin e wo judgment no eho na omo nsan fra asem ni biem na enye so omo fra asem ni omo asan start process no all over again no motimi prove it right say indeed kwadura e dey bo maame no odi for ewo ho dia ene enu omuni hweka ewo ho. Now Tamaklo Ationu and a co-accused Daniel Axim were first arraigned in 2019 over allegations involving the management and disbursement of Matlock funds during her tenure between 2013 and 2017. Intinipa bakwa wakama me said na hono Daniel Axim 2019 ene edo mo ekogina court akwadro ede bom ne sika bi afa wo nsem a nanka enwo se eba ne sa ni nyina sa bre no na ma me said na Ationu ena na pani a weda Matlock na no from 2013 to 2017. Now, I'll say one of the central allegations concern 500,000 Ghana cedis investment transaction involving Obatampa Microfinance Company Limited. Prosecutors allege that Tamaklo Ationu rejected a fund check and instead requested payment in cash, which was subsequently delivered to her. And Omuchema ni case no bako efa no any Obatampa Microfinance Company ni hua sikapudua namso no 500,000 Ghana cedis investment ye chemu anache senka check kra na ye de mama na mama si da oda omuntua ni in cash enfa enche nsem. Her lawyers, however, argued that prosecutors failed to establish beyond reasonable doubt that she dishonestly appropriated the funds. And the lawyer for Chemwa said the judge in Penifo Kasi Sikane fan and Semono, one fanya the pa ena wase sikanon, womunso omuchemu se enyano kre sa se asemo mokano. They further dispute the authenticity of a key acknowledgement letter relayed upon by the prosecution, insisting that the burden rested on the state to prove authorship of the document. The appeal also challenges findings related to the withdrawal of more than 1.8 million for a nationwide sensitization and monitoring program. In Tisika Biema, and Unso Abemu 1.8 million, HM say, Omuko yi se sikano, say, Omo de bear sensitization, name monitoring program, Binia de say sikano, so man said, who quite faswa, would this escano. And to Timu say, there have been a lot of cases involving money, any idea, the aboma mia, and unti asemno, a court trial severally. Quarter after some time, ye ban this 10-year sentence and never bedru Ghana, which you say or court appeal. Akutia the verdict, High Court apase somewhere in 2024, 16th April. So right now there, so will be able to me court and the court there will Edimobia into no akwaso siki appeal. We are just following how event is going to unfold with this particular turn of events, because na yen say odi sentence nana or serve, but it looks like she's trying to challenge the verdict at this point. And no crash here somewhere in February and Sana or Baby PMU ewo Ghana ha. We will still be following this issue near Shebebia ebeko akwa kudro updates be ebebano. the bedroom. Now, Yambonra the Foreign Ministry Affairs, a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Honorable Patrick Buama, Wababe Kasa, na ne kasa ye mu no tremu said the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Silmanman Backbane, and the Parliament, Entiasie, na womo ento nsamfre the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, na ombra no montoto na no embisebisa ne nsem ba kumienu bi emfa the evacuation and I said the repatriation exercise koso wo South Africa Ghana fo a omo ho akọ adwa South Africa man ni mu no ye prese ye de omo eba be pie mu back into Ghana what trema is about year 20 1,000 plus people and womo aba be pie mu edi omudin akọ Pretoria that they should be repatriated back to Ghana. But then from what is happening, I say almost only 300 be penny do ma be PM Ghana. I say then what happens to the rest? And no na era Patrick Boama chem say san crofo we mu a ye ka omo ho asem no omo hia Ghana yes and the relationship between Ghana and yes South Africa no is equally important too. And say kobane say yentimi amfo nkaifo na ma what happens to them, what is happening to the relationship between Ghana and South Africa. Yera Patrick raised concerns about all this. I would say Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa emra mra bedwafie no montoto na no mbusa no what he intends to do. Yeba ko tie nsem a Honorable Patrick Buama de etu dwa yeba yebeto aso.
If you registered over 1,500 Ghanaians and you've been able to evacuate only 300. What is happening to the rest of our nationals? What is going to happen with those who did not register? Because we know that a lot of Ghanaians occupy top positions in South Africa in many institutions or companies, the municipalities, the defense sector, and in other financial institutions there. We don't want this situation to derail our relationship with South Africa. So it's very important that the foreign minister appears before the House. I've been calling on him to appear before the House so that we can interrogate matters dispassionately. Diplomacy has nothing to do with propaganda and mischief. He may have a case, the South Africans may have a case with immigration or migration issues. We may also have a point as a House to assist in addressing the matter. So I think our call must be heeded by the leadership of Parliament, by the Speakership, to invite the Foreign Minister. It's getting to over a month now. We haven't heard from the Foreign Minister on this particular issue, very important issue. And we think it's about time that we put it out there to put on some pressure or pile on some pressure to get him to appear before the House.
So that is a Honorable Patrick Buama and Ayetin Sema Wade Tuja. From what he's saying, you know, na just say Patrick ma it was say some Okujeto Ablakwa eba na yetoto na no because ebia na decisions bi omobe taking betimi affect the relationship between Ghana and South Africa. Na in some way ekoso no na South Africa for omo international relations minister wono nso abekasa about rumor bi na ekoso the foreign affairs ministry no ebe di bankie na omo echema Ghana for na ye omo efi South Africa aba Ghana no bebre na omo ni nkrata no matena kro ni mu ache and all lot of things now were coming up and no na the foreign affairs minister be di bankie say sasem no enye no kre say Ghana for eti honom no dodo na eni nkrata. It's never true. But again today the South African international relations minister no aba bonten ochim say 74% of returned Ghanaians had overstayed visas. International say Ghana for e buy no emu dodo na that is about 74% in there. Wo mo visa wo mo e de call South Africa na ewu am wo mo te kro ni mu saa wo nim se mo nkrata I spy yet still they were still staying in the country and now amafo busa say and say asem no nukre wo mo pa no den. What is the truth in this matter? because as we knew no, and as I said the foreign affairs minister no Ebeka earlier said it is never true, and with some other people even trying to defend Ghana for say enye no credit say Ghana for do e wo na no mu nin krata ne ade no say so omo international relations minister is also saying otherwise. So which is it true? Because we remember say the foreign affairs minister Ekanye in one of his speeches ne say the repatriation exercise now omo ye no they are working with the South Africans and omo show omo database ni emu Ghana for ho bimo mu ni eyi nkrata, and it was at that point we even knew say we had some Ghanaians they were detained and because of paper in semia and ayeja omo a ye do omo ye den back to Ghana. So right now if you are coming out to tell us 74% of the returned Ghanaians no womo eni nkrata there na chese the conversation is on, people are asking questions and all that, but in view of that no say the we've seen that the reason behind the xenophobic attack has been a lot of reasons, from people from blacks taking jobs of South Africans, from South Africans saying that they are illegal immigrants, any other there, and that me say Ghana ni abrantie ba kwa ba be kasa na ne kasa ye munu timu se wo support the South African lady Jacinta and because Jacinta for some reason wakasa baby on Victoria Africa, they've been saying a lot of times say Ghana for no any other blacks are South Africa mind emunu they should go and fix their country because they too they want to fix their country, they want to see their country in a certain light and in a certain shape. Now Brantie Ghana ni nsema wabeka no ase woya fwa Jacinta any Victoria Africa nsema womakeka no eso na yenkotie Ghana ni de she nsema na yeba yento ansem no eso.
Everybody should move to their country and fix their country. Do you understand that? I share it with South Africans, but I don't condone with that kind of beatings and murderers and that kind of stuff. But I am interested in every African should remain in his or her country and fix it. South Africans should go to their country. Nigerians should go to their country. Kenyans should go to their country. Everybody should remain in their countries. Fix your country. If you are moving to any other country, you are going for holidays. It's mere stupidity to contribute money to generations to build scattered church buildings. Actually for nothing but unproductive noise making. So is
it fair on the Europeans to also say all Ghanaians within the European countries?
In Europe or whatever, because of greener pasture that most of them migrated and went there. But if they have contributed money to especially scattered industries, who go there? There'll be more jobs. People would be living good. Now go to the streets right away. Look at how people are selling on the streets. All these people have contributed money to especially scattered churches buildings. They are struggling with their children. Look at the rain. Where would they even get a place to sleep? Church buildings are locked up. They are locked up. Africa, we are fools. We are idiots.
Abusia, this is a Ghanaian I will believe it say enough is enough. Say the South Africa kanu no. We are black, we are Nigerian, we are one. It's not even about South Africa alone, but to him no believe it say obia and say oh Ghana stay in your country. We are Nigerian, stay in your country. We are Kenyan, stay in your country. I mean, everybody should be content with what they have and where they are. In few memo and Kobe memo near Kopamua abeye whole lot of issues, and so stay in your country and fix your country, make your country better. And yeah, feina and it looks like Sesani if that is what this gentleman is saying there, and then Nigeria for what Ghana had they should start parking. Any other country moon crop will be a Ghana heavy and status or parking back to wherever they are coming from, because you can't say that will be a chrome, then we'll be here in this country and be having Nigerians living freely, we'll have Lebanese living freely, we'll have Chinese living freely, be companies near there. Ebisu just said they entirely disagree with this man, because some time ago the president John Dramani Mahama ekanye say baby aye dro no say be ye de ahoho ene chichiri kro o wo bi wo ho a wo ba no nim dia wo ne na adwene a wo no ebi aye atena krom hakra ye nya sa nim die na ye nya sa adwene no. And so if somebody is moving and if migration is going on anka enye bone, because migration is saying enye, but if right now we want to go on that tangent say obia enka ne krom a, then I guess that is how it's going to be. And so it has I bring a divided conversation on the internet. Some are supporting, some are also refusing to support. It doesn't hold water. And for so be a any sosa obian can the chrome saying ebia baby ameko yezi utina baby fa kwa what wade so nti se mi tukwan makwa ko beta me ho anka bone ben na ewum obetimi a kire wadwene won nsem we ho e comment section no emu. Now ye konsem foforo so a eba na pomuden won nsem Ghana ha ade a ehu hia pa we ye man a yetimu emu. For some time now we obi a wota di agro we internet no eso a there is a new content creation bia abaso a osha brante a wada screens so a ne din ede yeboa ejekum Francis. Now ono ne content ni different, because edu baby no now we were in an era where content creation was all about some males wearing slit ne kaba ne ade now mama yesre, but yeboa ejekum Francis came into the space with a different content creation as my health advice, health tips ne ade and a Ghana phone so they be more some say twitwe, and they are even tagging this guy eduanu omube di ne ade BAB and your boy Jekum Francis will kasafa bibia home. But in view of what is going on, bongo ideas are also a social media influencer and content creator. Wababe raising a lot of concerns. A bitch said bongo ideas and some more came there say he's calling for the arrest of your boy Jekum Francis, because and one thing you should know is a bana pomudin who tips and advice sometimes is very detrimental if it is not coming from a professional. Aya na ha dwene kakra enti screens ni so and some bongo ideas e dey abeto dwa no say I have seen videos of a guy called Yeboa Ejekum Francis on TikTok teaching health related topics. Recently he has been complaining that people are threatening him and facing all sort of attacks. Enti bongo ideas chema said again mu bi ehu no sa no nso ehu say abrante Yeboa Ejekum Francis o church nkofo fa pomudin nsem ho de yendi ma yendi amotomu hwin de enti e wo ho de enti eni ho ne ade na o chemu say Yeboa Ejekum Francis ankasa de abeto jasa manfo ahyase bo ne ntrene wo internet ne so efa ne nkyerɛkyerɛ a wo kyerɛkyerɛ no ho. Now o hwe bongo ideas nsem o kan say but honestly some of the things he teaches do not make sense to me. And according to bongo ideas no Yeboa Ejekum Francis niema bi wo ho a wo kyerɛkyerɛ sebe or no bongo ideas ni hu ne say ento asumu. Most of the information he shares can easily be found through a simple Google search or AI tools. Yet people are in the comments praising him as if he's revealing hidden secrets. And according to bongo ideas ni hu ne say en kyerɛkyerɛ Yeboa Ejekum Francis kyerɛkyerɛ no enya ade bi kyerɛ so a sebe ukọ Google ana de AI ehwehwe enya de obehu enti amanfo a wo mo bọ no se pagya nti wo yanyame bi no kro no odwen ho a wonti ase. What worries me most is that some Ghanaians are taking his words as medical fact. I even heard him claiming that DNA tests are not always legitimate. These are serious topics that require scientific evidence, not social media opinions. According to bongo ideas, no, ade abranti Ejekum Francis ne etete ne pa. Esan se Ghana fo bi no mu de wa winim ye mpa adesua enti enye nipa bi obetimi abetena wa aka ne ma bako mienu bi ebesomu a asa ye ato asompani asomu se twetwe ene bi wo ho kra de a onko hospital biem bibia ye bo Ajekum Francis eno nso de ebe ha adwene ochemu a ensem ni bia okeka no enya se bia social media ensem kekebu ayo se etimide some kind of ininaso eka ho a yebehu se oh we de nokre. Now, instead of visiting hospitals and consulting qualified health professionals, many people are under his comments asking for medical help and advice. That is dangerous. And to say ade ye hu pa ne say dem ni kan ye no ade bi ye obi a enka yaresa bia no beko na wakwa hu doctor ni na wahwehwe mu na wama no de eye no ni anu aduro no na say de ye bo Ajekum ano motaage no e na me konye me ya ntimi nya ne dan e na me nan sinsen wiem ntimi nya ne dan eno nso de ochemu a ehu pa. Ghanaians need to do more research, verify information and stop treating every TikTok health influencer as an authority. The Ministry of Health should invite him to explain some of these claims because information about health can have real consequence. And say, bongo ideas chima o say Ministry of Health no wo mo bo modern no mo to nsafre ye bo Ajekum Francis wo mo toto na no busebusa ne nsem cause nsem ni bia o ka ne mo odu na is very very serious obi fa ne personal da achen na se enye no kra e bia ebetimi de wo haw anase nsunsuanso obone ayede abresa nipa no. Now, in view of ensem way I koso abongo ideas abeche na dwen wo no kra say this guy needs to be sanctioned, needs to be called and queried, no. Video bi abeto monten so amanfo ka say we abongo ideas e kan e bi anie because there was yet one of the health tips yebo Ajekum Francis here ya ochem say sebe news ya ema yes ya ye so ya ne didi yembisa ye ho se abrofo no omode baaye no how many times na be se broni e de ne nsankasa edidi ube nso okita cutlery ana skiwa edidi ene ade se broni e de ne nsa it's barely nso Ghana ni wakohye ne nsa tenten na ni odi twafufo nkontroma ne banku enya asem ketwa enti ebo Ajekum Francis beka se Q test no ne chemicals ne ade no udididi a ebe ye harmful to you abusia imagine di obi akwakoye esanso otremu a ebo Ajekum Francis se ema ye mfa news any DBM they say they were resorted to a whole new strategy and also kra ehu pa. Now yenhwe video nimra na yendi nkomo emfansem we ehu
say no ye bua Ajekum Francis in church no na me di so no o se wo hwehwe won sa enye se wo de won sa ne be didi esa chemicals ebe kọ oyom na ebe tan wonya food poison in the same church na me di so no good student ahesha me nsa me pese chemicals be kọ me yam into the glass in edidi
abusia hwe ba a yedro enti wakwabra ne se ye bo Ajekum Francis se ema ye nhye ye nsa emfe ndidi yebetimi enya chemicals betimi ahaye ena afekra infections efini ade enti no enti only the gloves eno de ahye ne nsa wodi di fufuo na da benda na Ghana crodrim ha ye sha se ye de gloves edi fufuo ha enti sa gloves yo de ahye ne nsa wodi di fufuo gloves nso chemicals ni mana enya plastic enya rubber chemicals and comb, and it has raised a whole lot of questions and a whole lot of concerns among for James. Indeed, as Omoya supported bongo ideas kakra say the Ministry of Health has to call this guy to order because ebia na oya broso ana se Ghana fo nyi omo nti ase se so obi betu fo efa apomudin nsem a enkyere se eno ano no anse nipa no we professional doctor and that's why professional health worker and that's bibisa because to take a decision some nails in into the gloves and the person said it is the peak of it. Now asemino de enim se nka Ghana haya ena agent han sana ebusia edu headquarters meka headquarters ana me chese edu Kevin Taylor nso na boboa no ama me no ka say Kevin Taylor nso abe react with regards to yebo Ajekum Francis ne health tips Oma ewo internet no eso yenkotie Kevin nso anu desema wode etuja
Ajekum Francis we you enye BT bia Ajekum ochina ko Ajekum akotina reference Ajekum Francis ana ai ochina ko Ajekum akasa ai we nipa de wotra sena se wo no Ajekum enye shi too much and enjoy ye honey ho na milk na tea me fa sugar go some sugar go ma na brown sugar nko and I'm the gum, but more times you know very warm and yet too hot because of sure me Ajekum. Inti we me sure say be Arabia bet me from Baba. So per say next time the good glass so am betumi no I tell you say I should be a canasem I TV so doctor TV so doctor Mr. We dey just tea and milk. Yes. Into bibia nim sa and enye she too much e be say makoma into so me sure a problem with her and then do too much to say e be me bia metuma yare into a healthy tea time we do am bia ma wo hu into adekum so I'm green light in the metuma bubujuma and at the end so boni bia nim adekum and me flask so I de bia no ya de share a year dishwasher na ya wash mu nyina particles milk into the bia me we show na me duru fia na me make sure say they share na warm water na awon because of milk no and they will swim tank at so send be heat baby into the bia no adekum me make sure say emfa yare amba emma stroke emma typhoid emma headache emma ulcer into adekum into say one ma kwan dia we tea de kakre bi na guase wo hwe red na ho na we tea no adekum we kakre bi na wase Mr. B I quite almost the video guys that or no you know so sad no it dey come Francis we dey ahodi wom pa ahodi wom we nyina ha nyina ba milk and ha nyina ba tea and ha kakra red no ayekum red no e ho na ewi no aha inti I say you know concentrate no we know from we so South Central we ano nya din inti ayekum aha besi aye milk ni nyina aye milk aha nyina na aha ba besi aye tea ankasa na red no de to ase na ase no aha eno ni wi no ai ajekum ya ajekum ya bo ajekum Francis that dey fro.
So Kevin Taylor ono nso join the conversation na chese ono nso chire mu a na chese the content of bottle no ukra no wo pese ye bo ajekum Francis hu se efutuo no ode ma ewa internet no so no wono nso take no very saying accordingly enti opese ye bo ajekum hu say so it's more or less like he's trying to make fun of the guy abranti na uhwe nsem ni mu a ultimu say from everything that is going on no amanfo bebre try so media abranti hu feel into uko internet ube hu we no hohoro nam ho a o say ye bo ajekum Francis we no ye say a o say ye bo ajekum Francis like everybody is literally trying to tag this guy with aduane omubedie enso omobenom some unnecessary things are sebe ehun hiampo se ye bo ajekum Francis din bebem no na ye din aba be for mu so right now we are just hoping say the enkrofo ebo abrantie din a people are raising concern about ne in church probably the health ministry might do something about it but and yes also there he will continue with whatever he's doing on the internet so let's monitor keenly na yen share the outcome of the calls to the Ministry of Health trying to call this guy to order. Now yanko nsem foforo so na yanko pie mu ewo bunoman mu a yakọ bunoman mu a na yakọ akopie mu ewo into a traditional council. For some time now, there've been a dispute between in Swatre and Bono Regional House of Chiefs. Bono Hene Doma Hene ni ade menteme ho ase no na ekoso na ensem no ekopie mu ewo court na ekopie mu court no na mene wo ekasei verdict aba na ekire mu a Supreme Court ayetena asem ne so no de aba beto dwa se Doma Hene our das queen sisui ene Bono Regional House of Chiefs ene Suma Hene omo ebu omofo ewa asem ne ho ama inso a traditional council womo adibim ewa asem no ho enti sabre de womumu bia ewo sika womu betua de ama inso a traditional council no as mekanise empatade anase bibisa na ohene a wo inso a traditional council wababonten abecheche nsem ni mu how everything happened there course so nsem ni kopie mu wo court any ade nyina no wato nanum to akasa ye begebre na ya jintremu no e de afi wo no akasa eho ye ba yatoa nsem no eso
Supreme Court no ba ye say mamutimu asem nyina ampa me kan masem nse be ko su omo de ko Supreme Court ene 9 June 2026 and a case in Ibaso, I was Supreme Court, by 10 o'clock here. Now, you do Supreme Court, no? Supreme Court, I bought my seminary. The Supreme Court will catch our money say. Court of Appeal and as I can file or way. But what find the Court of Appeal? Now I withdraw case from Court of Appeal and now what they are bad. Until we hear say what they about now the OD was a woman and can was a man. Over there, they are buyer. Yet the Court of Appeal was uncle yesterday of execution, you know, that's a Court of Appeal and grant him my work. And I'll be in your Supreme Court. And you want to move a case in court, appeals court. Now I won't withdraw from appeals court. Now we may file a case in the Supreme Court. Yan is a baby. No Korean man in the we are saying in a Pesemu. Namu who said, so for a lawyer, Papa. Unya Timu Papa. Na lawyer Mujid Rahman. Ene Akadini. Sa counsel me no. Omuko tumbra Papa. Ewo ho. A man, mpanimfo justice is a tena sa no so no. Omo nipa num ni nyina decision is say. Ne omo ye no man ya de. Ese senka omo file case in appeals court. Na omo ne di asem. Wo mo na bebe ansa na timadu omo. Enti nipa num ni nyina abọ masem na bu se eni nyina so bia. Enti de meka kira man san nyina ne se. Monko so anta ya chi. Na monko so a enkoma ye na nye ye nko ansu atrefo na ngoko amaye. Mo ye ko ama bono man ene Ghana man. Na Ghana man afa ne ntuma pa afra ewo ahensem. Na nipa mienu miensa sere maka no. Enti mu hijack bono regional house. Yankopon pese ene yem nsuatrefo yem bepaja asem na bono man engine ho. Enu nti na asem we yapaja ye de atena sese amfie num yen kasa yen yehwe asisi be saa na ekoso se de yaka akire mo nanso eye nyame ye de ahomato ne so nti no Yankopon no wakasa mai na odina ye chi nso se bono man nsuatre be gina ako age bono man na ekoso sampa na nye de enye fe nso so ukọ ho a wonti ase na ni nyina no bono house na atena sese obeye san hyehyeye no na yensu atrefo de ka ne pei atene pei se yem pene bo mo fe se ka ni nwa na nka da baabi biara esese ekokoduru bia be kwa akoduru nipa na woni ye oba wonsane na so so wonsane de a ne ntam kase ne ne ma waka ne yate ne wo ho nyina ne be nteri nyina dia kira mansan no pena sumdue de na adwuma ne so ya pa ya sumdue de ne de a omuja asu atrefa ma wo mo no mo ma bono ahensem no katanta wanta wo no enjai suntwitwa na entena ye nyina ye entena se bono fo ma na yem pagya bono e ma ne nkosoro na me hu se wo nua ye kese a na ye wo ya sebi mpere se dia no kro na ye di mamu nyina mu di na se wan ye kese a buja honam na busa akatere ma na busa ye funu de enti ama wanti ma ye kese enti mfo woni bere nkogu bi so na mfa bi hotan so nye bi ye woni bere wo wi ase ya sebi mpere dia sa na danfo ni kofi na se ono nya na danfo ni kofi pe oni kofi wa asempa kese wo so wotan ye nya sa de wo wi ase so so ye Kristo ni ma papa wo ni sa ne ma na chi ubu na be siesie se le be ya asundue be ba sa nipa no so ntem nti ye nfi atrefo de ba na asundue ya ma no tanka ya ma no se bi wo ko sho bi achi da be kan se mati obi ye de ya hensam ye hena mfamfo ahenie ye hena mfamfo akonwa ho asem na ye ka concerning Suatre traditional council and Suatre people Suatre man ni nyina ho asem ye ka na ye kasa nso ma bon man bi mo de ye hyefo ma ye sisi wo mo a ye ma wo mo nsem ntimu pie sebi ohia nti sikanti na ya ka wa hye ni atena wo so force wo de ye de kura ya tena zo mo asem ma saa de no ye ka ma man san nyina tempanifo wo Ghana mpanifo wo wiase nyina na wo bunuma mu nyina nsore na mo nyina me nkunti asa proye kankan no media for yasemani na ye de nkunin wo Supreme Court Supreme Court ye kwa appeals court no mutwa fine ma wo 15,000 Ghana cedis and then so Supreme Court ya gi o 30,000 Ghana cedis se so mo ni mo mra o ma che o mo mra ti wiase nyina enkosora nta ya chi na o ma enkonkodene na ye mfanje bunu man emfansi wo madam ase yo we de na kakra bi na me de ka homa mikrom ensuatrefo nyina ene ensuatreman nyina se yesrema bia anye basabasa ensuatrefo nyina stay calm omunye din na sebi asɛm den biara no sɛbi mpradu asɛ yɛse kan ne de twam na yɛde mmara ɛna ɛka na mpanifo sɛ patapaa pieto yɛde mmara ne woro nti suatrefo nyinaa nye din na omu enko soara enta yachi ma branti bia mfa mmara nhyɛ ne nsɛm enkoyɛ basabasa mo obi so nkonkofa bibi nkɔhyɛ panini bi akyi emfa nyɛ basabasa emfa nsɛ suatre man yɛsɛ sɛ omu nye din suatre di nkunim enye yɛ nananom ne yɛ di nkunim na mo suatre na adi nkunim yɛsrɛ sɛ omu nye kom na omu nta yachi saa obi wɔ no sɛ so wante de kɔɔto ka se a obetumi akɔ kɔɔto na ɔno akɔ ne pɛsɛmpɛsɛ mu wɔ sɛ bia de enye atemuafo wɔn na yɛka asɛ no ma yɛ na mefa akwanya wi so na masrɛ bɔn man nyinaa Ghana man nyinaa ba bibia wa hensɛm ɛtete wo ne adeɛ no sɛ bi mfa sika ne atuo ɛnkɔ kasa bɔ modena sɛ wɔbɛfa mmara kwan so sɛ de nsuatrefo yafa mmara kwan so a yamfa sika ne atuo nanso yasɛm yɛ kan bɔn man nyinaa Ghana man nyinaa ba bibia obi sisi wo hensɛm a wɔn ti aseɛ no fa kɔdan mmeranimfoɔ anaasɛ court na court nka wasɛm ma na minisa sa nam sa yeso bema bonmai afa ne ntoma ba afira medamase
ye enso atremai wo hene pon anase pani ba kwa wo enso atremai traditional council na ekotie enchiremu a wode emaye. Now for those of us that don't know their koso wo enso atremai no we beka ne se ahini hunsem na ene abobo aba bedru baby a aba bedru na ensem we hyase no sa ahini we nsem hyase no abusua is not today we say no be today kra na hyase it started way back because 20 years ago kra ansana sa chieftaincy dispute we hyase na hyase bra wo hene pon a na wo enso atremai the paramount chief na hene see free moi say hwan ye dini besi so enye Royal Gate A, Royal Gate B, Royal Gate C and enye wo mo pre ho ena wo hwemu anso atremai so ehye bono man no ase enti Bono Regional House of Chiefs wo mo hu bebembi ena kyese wo mo nso eho ekoba mu bia no mo hwese wo mo beso ensem na no na ensem ne di kan kopie mu ewo court ema court pass verdict ewo ho na appeals for ne pass verdict ya de no court pass verdict ekwa appeal so ye na say akwa se nananom ne binim wo ho a wo mo mpese wo mo beje court no na no de se ma wo de atodwa no wo mo mpese wo mo beje atum enti eba ne sa na chese wo sa asem no ekopie mu ewo Supreme Court ankasa na ekopie mu Supreme Court no eno na ene the outcome no na ede ababeto monten so de amayen say following the Supreme Court verdict eba ye ne de na chese sese no do ma hene wo betua 30,000 Ghana cedis de ama Nsuatre Traditional Council suma hene onu so betua 30,000 Ghana cedis de ama Nsuatre Traditional Council na afei the Bono Regional House of Chiefs na ankasa nso betua 30,000 as the fine Supreme Court de fine wo mo with regards to this particular issue eba say court a pass verdict na wo mo nso manye de wo mo ndi court no na sem eso na de omo ankasa epe na omo ya ene ensem na kwakopie mu wo Supreme Court itself na at the end of the day no Supreme Court etimi atena asem no so ama pepper ye aba me no kase ide ye hwe se 30,000 that's like a cool 90,000 Ghana cedis ebekwa akoka Nsuatre Traditional Council for ensa na afei de omo etimi esi omo hene no ewo asumdwe emu now yemfi Nsuatre na yemra Kumawood emu a me no ka say ye bodura the camp of actress Vivian Jewa eja demu tenten pa na wa follow Vivian Jewa no ubehu say she has this series na woye Abrewa Mafia abrantie na wo ka Vivian Jewa ho na wo ye Abrewa Mafia kwambo ache me no ka say wa call Vivian Jewa out enya asem kito asem no agese age atese wo internet ne so na ni nyina akọ wiewie say according to kwambo ache no Vivian Jewa esisi no woni Vivian Jewa ye adwuma for so many years no kra we dedicating the life ama abrabo anko wo boy wo so dedicate man ho no we dedicate e de ama Vivian Jewa eni ni twa skate ama Vivian Jewa enye sika ne ade enso o hwe no osisi no ene ade a ene de otremu a wo ka to ho amagana fo nyina yenya ye ho ntiase se baabi eduro no wo se wo be kasa enti ni kasa yemu no akose a lot of issues na wono a aba betro wo ne handle say my account should not be tempered, you people shouldn't try say wo hwemu a ebia na ankofo be start reporting the account with what is happening and all that, but ono akasa chensem ni mu yie ever how everything unfolded kwan yo ne Vivian je wa ye adwuma ebesi ne wonya mfaso bia emfen free ho na ye bekoni akote kwambo ache nsem a wode ato emonten so
with me share my fans, my followers, me share BBI. Mom say a few days in Eba, me posting my boo and war. And your comedy. And your video be a try and trim. I'm a posting. He said, you thought fair to be among phobia. Come out my bread. We didn't come and post a video be about my brewa. Now will come and send. Say, over here, you may be mammy. Now, a Jumana obey your ma, wow, no. I will be in him, one anna done a crunk crunches of Panama Chichi, one anna be in who be. No, ladies, why you one pa, mammy? Not say a Jumano, who say a Jumana far. Didn't you know who see a Jumano? No way you may free Abbasabasem. That same man, Tana will see Abraham and now say Jumano. But sorry, if a friend name will be Abra. I thought that one we are and I say, Pete Cacrebi, no man painful, oh, Quamabua channel, say, oh, Copacho, my baby patcho. And until I'm a first video be a mere, because my patchos are meaning the Mayano. And until I make a say, the first video make us my power chow sounds meaning the Mayo, Abraham pounds meaning the Mayo. What Tommy actually probably the number almost cry them. Meme so who what Tommy printed black at your 7 tailor one. Oh, the free fee, my bag golf park. The name was to be a golf park with cheap. I can't be the whole of class on my beginning because me you fear Nipan Tias, mammy. Nipan trim on my mini video way. And I made Kanya Famutu. I bet Johanna me video way. Already, you've been wicked to me. Me pamasem o time. What matter when mama cry you the kakaka one. But deep in our she knew now telling with true colors. Now kwada, no 38 years, I got 2 years and 40 years. I'm not a small boy. Me no 90 years into a fan of crown and I'm still na me did Mochina. Well I didn't about 19 years. Me baby years as last year in Junko Fanam University. Then I fell sick from my watch. I university I had a but already one mommy. You let me take some decisions, be a life-changing decisions. Me take it wow. But who appreciate me? Who appreciate me on any day? What am I saying? So be a drum and I walk with me da. I Jimmy hit you actually. I'm a social media. Now about audio me from be transfer so muna. Share you my man and saying, "Umuna ya ma omo munim sinim kwase eh watch ada o na 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 esi." Nine, my boy to so for clubs and say, Mem says so no about. Men walk on go for say so. Will the about said so. But me from a Juma where your mammy and what an interview say, and I interview me posty ye say, why you Juma mammy? Emma was said one come when said one come. You wanted to get rid of me on the same month because I have a what claim film that. It's in an aka Abraham. So you were stopping that Juma say, oh, sister Juma, no way you may free. Into me Diana and on after me no yana wow control no because I can also control only we $1,000 that. So I'm just kind of near Jumano. Scan out the Chama Macalimo, no, now by which I'm system if into Yamo. It's an uncanny sa because Macalino, no, you'll be no better channel, you will him condemn. Over with chance, I've scanned out Mamma Macalina 400 cities a day, no, and I'm the Mamma Macalino, the whole Macalino, no, him condemn. What you mean be yet, you don't know secretary, no, 1.5. Emma Menono, let me so struggle, but Janam Kufi. Because me to work from estate. Or man over my into me take us film 60 series and 70 series film crana. I better 80 series. Me to me did. Imagine sana me because mama Kaliba me no ho give me 400 series. O say me him mama Kalina so be bad dia. na just a first day na mama kan be ya adwuma ma na 300 series no na ni anso okasa kasa wo car nim nti na kodu fi frem car asa me kire me no e front me tua mama kali sika bia wo de mani bia mama kali me kwa de say so am ya na me to me nsuo me na me to me energy drink ono woni me ba na to me nsuo me to me energy drink na me de ye na adwuma ma no nya me ma adwuma o na me de ye na adwuma ma no e to da kura me sa to me bia no ko na me sa de pro sama no e do adwuma akwa to mo 25 cedis no de abre nya sa mama kali ti se hwana mama kali to ko kuma no mama kali ba me say so asam ba wo so wonni mo bia unni bia wo de program na ya ofe na obo hu de wu wan so zo platform ni ekese me kwabna bu ache mi fie ni a me trafie ante sala fie ni ma ba wo fie wasuma me sa ko wasuma me obogo bia bo so nyem no nyam nsa na di agro me ba wo fie mba ago unyam nsa ni jo na bobo e boy ko se bibia obi anim bogo ni bia anim say aso akopse nkiri nyentro no utwa me I will never be a liar and I won't be a liar me say me de snap ba ha ho ka go for me bom bia no awo ya me say obra me bire nyina efiro e ko me wura fie me ni me nsa me di me nsa chi no ko ma me fie o kan probe e ko di do ma me ho but Vivian painting a black at say as a minion for bonnie bi and I call yeah, oh, start here, oh, Bagana, so be a project to be. Me organization, man. And you're an MPP for power, Bonnie. Me organization, man. You be a come. I can't, small boy now, be a lead rule. Oh, quite winning responsibilities are a far and one, and a farm home. And on your way. Me, documenting myself to her. Extremely in your we be on platforms no or come kwasasema no be on platforms no come wasema mo hu ya se me free ba mo bia me so yi su fun me yi ase akwa mo su me se me to a da na mo nsie me mo bia nya me yi se da me to no se 10 million kwa na wa ko 10 million da ka fa ku sie me se 5 so aye ne sa fa ma me ene me ba bo ase me nya ka to hu ni wo twam Sangu, one year so idea 2024 maker, mammy no. Because we can't obey baby mammy. I be was say $4,000. Sad December because now PM was so. I'm catching them kids can the send no. I'm a dawasi. See me a bush in December be a minimum bush in dawasi. December inside true be ma me meaning I will screenshot and post it on my wall. My wall and your bubble wall, now the quarter time. Me minim se bi nche wiase me system me feel my system mu ma dwen do me nya BP me tuma collapse anytime me tuma nya stroke anytime me ntwa ma number chia ma be de otu nche fa me kra ma me nkasa me ya to ho ti ma no chia me da ho a no bi enim sa akra nipa so si na ne sa you are 2 week da bewa enda we interview na akwa no dey interview say me nyina na me na me bibia me na me story me na me say already sabe enyuma na we the time me bi no ha hete say abra mafia forget. We were giving you 50-something thousand views a day. Unye binche. Apart from episode 1 and episode 2, unye binche. But on a normal day, the woman and we are producing that date. What do you mean when he see a woman? We me free abasa say man try na we see Abraham Fiana na person we see Sam Edumano. Na say me twafo. I can say me don't because you didn't want to have anything to do with me Kwamna Boache. O koye say adwuma na nyo na afre meeting o na wo tantro nyo na afre meeting one free meeting na enu bu ye na free meeting me na reserve again na me allegation ka chale again say de na ekoso no ma me no tun fa side ni be die because me die me say we share like boys na yo ma de no be da for ma me ma de da for ma anye ne me ma de da for ma anye ne me ma de da for ma anye ne o de we against what mo kuma like no Ganso te no ka kire ni say ya to se kan na eba wonye no mfa ni 300 crowd ti be he because papa na mo manya blog gu be chire blog gu chire blog opoku basin kwa no manya sika ya osa so na bu server green enti eba se YouTube no o bitimi check hu sika wenya already make up saying, oh, family, Jimmy. You're done, I'm woman. And I was hoping, say, one day things will change for the better. Pabna, I'll be answering you say. You do so I'm not too busy. But I'll be able to say this describing your time. You do so I'm not too busy. And all first time I need to me a Juma. It's your career, they are done with you. I'm here on front on your time, I'm fine. But I need already. What my take me some. But